The massive warship of the Krex Empire hung in space like a dark mountain made of metal. Inside its command room, Commander Vex stood tall with his 4 arms crossed. His purple skin gleamed under the blue lights. The Krex were the most feared warriors in the galaxy. They had conquered 50 star systems. No one had ever defeated them in battle. "Commander, we are approaching the human colony on Mars," said his assistant, a smaller alien named Tor. "They have only 20 ships defending the planet. We have 200. Vex laughed. It was a harsh sound like grinding metal. "These humans are new to space. They have been traveling between stars for only 50 years. We have been conquering for 5,000 years. This will be easy." But Tor looked worried. He touched the data screen with his thin fingers. "Commander, I must tell you something strange. 3 other fleets have gone to fight humans before. The Zorn fleet, the Bakari Armada, and the Gresh invasion force." "So?" Vex asked, his red eyes narrowing. "None of them returned. Not a single ship. Not even a distress signal." The command room became quiet. The other officers looked at each other nervously. But Vex slammed his fist on the control panel. "Impossible. Those were weak fleets. The Krex are different. We are stronger." He turned to face his crew. "The humans got lucky before. Maybe those fleets had technical problems. Maybe they fought each other. It does not matter. Today, we will show the galaxy that humans are just another weak species to be conquered." The Krex fleet moved forward through space. 200 ships filled with the best warriors in the Empire. Each ship had powerful plasma cannons and shield generators. They had never lost a battle dot as they got closer to Mars. Tor noticed something odd on his scanner. "Commander, the human ships are not running away. They are coming toward us." "Good." Vex shouted. "They are brave but stupid. All ships prepare for battle. Today we add Earth to our empire." The human ships were smaller than the Krex vessels. They looked simple, almost primitive. They were gray and blocky, without the elegant curves of Krex technology. Vex smiled, showing his sharp teeth. This would be over quickly. But then Tor's scanner started beeping frantically. "Commander, I'm detecting strange energy readings from the human ships. I've never seen anything like this before." "What kind of energy?" Vex demanded. I don't know. Our computers cannot identify it. It's not plasma, not laser, not antimatter. It's something else entirely." The first human ship fired. A bright white beam shot out, moving faster than anything Vex had ever seen. It hit one of his heavy cruisers. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the cruiser simply disappeared. Not exploded, not destroyed. It just vanished like it never existed. "What was that?" Vex roared. Before anyone could answer, all 20 human ships fired at once. White beams filled space. Krex ships started disappearing one by one. The shields did nothing. The armor did nothing. Whatever the humans were using, it ignored all defenses. "Return fire," Vex commanded. "All weapons, maximum power." The Krex fleet unleashed everything they had. Hundreds of plasma bolts and missile swarms rushed toward the human ships. But the humans did something impossible. Their ships suddenly moved, not through space, but around it. One moment they were there, the next they were somewhere else, without traveling the distance between. "They can teleport." Tor screamed. "Commander, we need to retreat." But it was too late. The humans had surrounded them without moving through normal space. White beams came from all directions. Krex ships vanished by the dozens. In less than 5 minutes, half the fleet was gone. Vex watched in horror as his mighty armada was erased from existence. No explosions, no debris, no escape pods. When the white beams hit, There was simply nothing left. Send a message to the Empire. Vex ordered. Tell them the humans have weapons we cannot understand. Tell them. A white beam hit the command ship. Commander Vex had just enough time to understand why no one ever returned from fighting humans. Then he, his ship, and his entire fleet ceased to exist in the cold silence of space. 20 human ships floated quietly, waiting for the next fool who would try to conquer Earth. The Galactic Council Chamber was in chaos. Representatives from 100 different species were all talking at once, their voices mixing into a roar of fear and confusion. At the center of the circular room, the council leader, an ancient being named Elder Kos, struck his ceremonial staff against the floor. Order! We must have order. His voice boomed through the translator systems that the room slowly quieted down. Elder Kos was from the Wise Ones, the oldest spacefaring race in the galaxy. His species had been traveling between stars for 20,000 years. When he spoke, others listened. We have all heard the news, Elder Kos said, his 6 eyes looking around the room. The Krex Empire's greatest fleet has vanished, just like the others before them. A representative from the Falcon Federation stood up. She was tall and covered in silver feathers. Elder Kos, how is this possible? The humans are babies in space. They learned to leave their planet only 200 years ago. We have been in space for millennia. And yet, Elder Kos replied slowly, 4 major fleets have attacked them. None returned. Not the Zorn with their mind control technology. Not the Bakari with their living ships. Not the Gresh with their black hole bombs. And now, not even the mighty Krex. A small green representative from the Tech Union raised his hand. I have analyzed all available data. The humans use something we do not understand. Our scientists call it erasure beams. They don't destroy matter. They remove it from existence itself. The room erupted in fearful whispers. Removing matter from existence was supposed to be impossible. It violated the fundamental laws of physics that every species knew. There's more, the Tech Union representative continued. The humans can move their ships through folded space. They can be anywhere instantly. Our fastest ships would take days to cross a star system. Humans do it in seconds. A warrior from the Dragon Empire slammed his clawed fist on his desk. Then we must all attack together. Every fleet in the galaxy. They cannot fight us all. No, Elder Kos said firmly. That is exactly what we must not do. Everyone turned to look at him in surprise. Elder Kos pulled up a holographic display in the center of the room. It showed Earth, a small blue and green planet orbiting an ordinary yellow star. Look at this world. For most of their history, humans could not even leave their planet's surface. But they spent those thousands of years doing something no other species did. What? Asked the silver-feathered representative. They spent those years fighting each other, Elder Kos said quietly. While we were exploring space peacefully, humans were perfecting war. They split the atom not for power, but for weapons. They created diseases as tools of battle. They built machines solely to kill other humans more efficiently. The room was silent now, everyone listening intently. When humans finally reached space, Elder Kos continued, they brought all that knowledge with them. But more importantly, they brought their way of thinking. Every species here sees war as conquest, taking territory, capturing resources, subduing enemies. But humans? Humans see war as survival. When threatened, they don't fight to win. They fight to ensure the threat never exists again. The Tech Union representative pulled up his own data. Elder Kos is right. Look at human history. When they fight defensive wars, they don't just defeat enemies. They eliminate them completely. They call it total war. No mercy, no negotiation, just complete annihilation of the threat. But surely they can be reasoned with, said a peaceful representative from the Garden Worlds. Perhaps if we talk to them. We tried, Elder Koss interrupted. After the Zorn fleet disappeared, we sent ambassadors. The humans were actually quite friendly. They trade with us. They share their art and music. They even help species in need. But they made one thing absolutely clear. Anyone who attacks Earth or human colonies will cease to exist. The Dragon Empire warrior stood up again. So we just accept this? We let one species hold the galaxy hostage? They don't want to rule the galaxy, Elder Koss explained. They just want to be left alone. As long as no one attacks them, they are peaceful, even helpful. But the moment someone threatens them, he gestured to the empty space where the data about the Krex fleet had been. Then what do you propose? Asked the silver-feathered representative. Elder Koss stood tall, his ancient voice carrying wisdom and warning. We add a new law to the galactic code. No species may attack humanity. For our own survival, we must never give them a reason to show us their true power. The vote was unanimous. Every representative understood the message. Humanity was not to be challenged. The cost of learning why was extinction. Asterisk. Six months had passed since the Galactic Council's decree. Most species had accepted the new reality. Humanity was untouchable. Trade routes were adjusted to respect human space. Diplomatic channels remained open, but careful. The galaxy had learned to live with its newest and most dangerous neighbor, but in the darkest corner of known space. Someone had not learned the lesson. Warlord Zek sat on his throne, made from the bones of conquered enemies. He ruled the savage systems, a collection of outlaw planets beyond council control. Pirates, mercenaries, and criminals called him master. Unlike the civilized species, Zek followed no laws but his own. "Boss, you sure about this?" asked his lieutenant, a scarred creature named Rix. "Everyone says the humans got some kind of super weapon. Maybe we should—" Zek's hand moved faster than sight. Rix's head rolled across the floor before his body realized it was dead. The other pirates in the throne room stayed perfectly still, afraid to even breathe too loud. "Anyone else want to question me?" Zek asked, cleaning his blade. Silence. Good. Zek stood up, his massive frame casting shadows in the dim light. The Council fears humans because they are cowards. The Krex were overconfident. They announced their attack, gave the humans time to prepare. But we are not stupid like them. He activated a holographic map showing human space. We will not attack their colonies or Earth. We will hit their trade ships, far from help. Quick strikes, take what we want, and disappear before their military arrives. They cannot guard every ship in space. One of his captains, brave or foolish enough to speak, raised a concern. But boss, what about their erasure weapons? Zek laughed, a sound like breaking glass. Trade ships don't carry military weapons. We've been watching. Their civilian vessels have basic shields and maybe some laser turrets. Nothing special. The dangerous weapons are only on their warships. He pointed to a trade route between Mars and the mining stations near Jupiter. Tomorrow, we hit 3 cargo ships here. They carry rare minerals worth fortunes. We take the cargo, destroy the ships, leave no witnesses. The humans will never know who did it. The next day, 50 pirate ships waited in ambush behind a large asteroid. They had done this many times before to other species. Hide, attack, steal, vanish. It was simple and effective. "Boss, I see them," reported the scanner operator. 3 human cargo ships, just like you said. They're big and slow. Easy targets. Perfect, Zek grinned. All ships prepare to attack. Remember, disable their engines first so they cannot run. Then we board them and take everything. The human cargo ships moved through space peacefully, unaware of the danger. They were indeed large and blocky, built for carrying goods, not fighting. Their few weapon turrets looked almost decorative compared to the pirate ship's heavy armament. Now, Zek commanded. 50 pirate ships burst from behind the asteroid, weapons firing. Plasma bolts and missiles streaked through space toward the human vessels. The first hits landed on the lead cargo ship's engines, exactly as planned. But the ship didn't stop. Instead, something strange happened. The cargo ship's hull began to change. Panels shifted and moved. Hidden compartments opened. In seconds, the cargo ship transformed into something else entirely. Boss. The scanner operator screamed. Those aren't cargo ships. They're reading as military signatures now. It was a trap. The 3 cargo ships completed their transformation. They were warships in disguise, pretenders waiting for someone foolish enough to attack. White lights began to glow along their hulls, the same lights that had erased the Krek's fleet. Retreat! Zek roared. All ships retreat now. But it was too late. The human ships fired. White beams swept through space like the hand of death itself. Pirate ships didn't explode. They simply stopped existing. One moment there, the next gone, as if they had never been built at all. Zek's ship turned to run, engines at maximum power. But space itself seemed to fold around them. Suddenly, one of the human ships was directly in front of them, impossible though it should have been. A voice came through their communication system. It was calm, almost bored. This is Captain Smith of the Earth Defense Force. You attacked what you thought were defenseless civilians. That was your first mistake. It was also your last. Wait. Zek screamed. We surrender. We, the white beam, fired. Warlord Zek, his crew, and his entire fleet were erased from existence. No debris, no bodies, no evidence they had ever existed at all. Captain Smith filed his report. Pirate threat eliminated. Returning to standard patrol. The humans had not just prepared for attacks. They had invited them, using themselves as bait to clean the galaxy of those who would prey on the weak dot asterisk in the depths of the ancient archives. A place older than most civilizations, Scholar Tam worked alone. The archives contained the history of the galaxy, millions of years of records from thousands of species. Tam was one of the few allowed to study the restricted sections, where dangerous knowledge was kept hidden. For weeks, he had been researching humanity. Not their recent history, but something much older. Strange references in ancient texts. Mysterious warnings in languages long dead. Pieces of a puzzle that shouldn't exist. Tam's 4 eyes hurt from reading holographic texts all day. His scaled skin had grown pale from lack of sunlight. But he couldn't stop. He had found something terrifying. Computer, he said to the archive's II, show me the predecessor records from Sector 7, timestamp 50,000 years ago. The hologram flickered to life. The predecessors were a mysterious race that had ruled the galaxy long before any current species existed. They had left behind incredible technology and cryptic warnings, then vanished without explanation. The text was in their ancient language, but Tam could read it. Few scholars could. As he translated, his breathing quickened. We found them on the 3rd planet of System Sol. They were primitive, using stone tools, living in caves. But their minds were unlike anything we had encountered. Where other species evolved cooperation, they evolved conflict. Where others developed harmony, they developed war. Tam continued reading, his hands shaking. We tried to guide them, as we had guided others. But they were different. They learned too quickly. Not just our teachings, but the meanings behind them. They understood concepts that took us millennia to discover. They saw patterns we had missed. Their primitive brains somehow grasped the fundamental nature of reality itself. The next part made Tam's blood run cold. We decided they were too dangerous. We tried to limit them, to slow their development. But they adapted. Everything we did to stop them only made them stronger. They turned every obstacle into an opportunity, every limitation into a motivation. We realized too late what they were, not a species evolving, but a weapon evolving itself. Tam pulled up another file, this one from a different predecessor scientist. The humans are an anomaly. Their DNA shows signs of artificial modification, but not by us. Someone or something designed them for a purpose we cannot understand. They are built for survival through conflict. Their bodies heal from injuries that would kill others. Their minds can endure trauma that would break others. They thrive in chaos that would destroy others. But the most terrifying revelation came from the final predecessor record before they vanished. We have made a terrible mistake. We thought we could contain them to their planet. But they have learned to manipulate quantum reality, not through technology, but through consciousness itself. They discovered what we spent millions of years trying to understand, that reality is shaped by observation, and they can observe in ways we cannot. We tried to attack them. Our fleet of 10,000 ships was erased by 20 humans using no technology at all, just their minds. We are leaving this galaxy. We suggest others do the same when the humans finally reach the stars. Tam fell back in his chair. The erasure beams weren't weapons. They were humans using their consciousness to remove things from existence. The space folding wasn't technology. It was humans deciding to be somewhere else, and reality obeying. He quickly searched for more records. There, hidden in the deepest archives, reports from other ancient races. The vanished, the lost ones, the forgotten, all had encountered humanity in its early stages. All had tried to stop them. All had fled the galaxy or been erased. Humanity wasn't new to space. They had been held back, imprisoned on Earth by ancient races who feared them. But 50,000 years of prison had only made them stronger. They had spent that time perfecting themselves, preparing for the day they would be freed out, and now they were. Tam's communicator buzzed. A message appeared. Scholar Tam, we are aware you have accessed restricted information about our species. Please remain where you are. We would like to talk. The message was from Earth Dot. Before Tam could move, a human woman appeared in the room. Not through the door. She simply existed where she hadn't before. She was ordinary looking, wearing a simple gray uniform. But her eyes held depths that seemed infinite. Hello, Scholar Tam, she said with a friendly smile. My name is Captain Jones. Don't be afraid. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to make sure you understand something very important. Tam couldn't speak. He could only nod. We don't want to rule the galaxy, Captain Jones said. We don't want to destroy it. We just want to live in peace. But if anyone threatens that peace... She let the sentence hang in the air. I understand, Tam whispered. Good. Then you also understand why this information must remain hidden. The galaxy fears us for the wrong reasons. Let them fear our technology. It's safer than fearing the truth. She smiled again. Have a nice day, Scholar. And then she was gone, as if she had never been there at all. 1 year later, the galaxy had settled into an uneasy peace. No one challenged humanity. Trade flourished. Wars between other species decreased dramatically. No one wanted to give humans a reason to intervene. It was, ironically, the most peaceful period in galactic history. But peace built on fear is fragile. On the edge of known space, something arrived. Not a ship, but a massive structure. A sphere the size of a moon, made of unknown metal that seemed to drink in light. It appeared suddenly, as if it had always been there, but no one had noticed until now. Every species detected it simultaneously. Every military went on high alert. And then the sphere sent a message to everyone. We are the Devourers. We have consumed 1,000 galaxies. Yours is next. Surrender or be consumed. The Galactic Council convened in emergency session. Representatives panicked. The sphere's technology was beyond anything they could understand. Scans showed it contained the compressed matter of entire star systems. It was a weapon and a harvester, designed to strip galaxies of all life and resources. We must unite all our fleets, shouted the Dragon Empire representative. Our weapons cannot even scratch it, argued the Tech Union. Perhaps we can negotiate, suggested the Garden Worlds. Elder Koss stood silent, thinking. Then he spoke the words everyone was thinking, but afraid to say, "What about the humans?" The room fell silent. "We cannot ask them for help," said the Krex representative. They had sent a new one after their fleet was erased. They made it clear they want to be left alone. But if the galaxy is destroyed, Earth will be destroyed too. Elder Koss pointed out. Before anyone could respond, the hologram system activated. A human appeared, not in person, but as a projection. It was an older man in a military uniform. His name tag read Admiral Wilson. "Ladies and gentlemen of the Galactic Council," he said calmly, "we are aware of the situation. Will you help us?" Elder Koss asked directly. Admiral Wilson smiled slightly. "The Devourers are not your problem. They are ours." Confusion rippled through the chamber. "You see," the Admiral continued, "the Devourers have been chasing us for a very long time. We've been running from galaxy to galaxy for millions of years, hiding our true nature, pretending to be primitive when discovered. But we're tired of running." The representatives exchanged shocked looks. "This galaxy is our home now," Admiral Wilson said, "and we protect our home." On every screen in the chamber, images appeared showing the human fleet. Not 20 ships, not 100. Thousands upon thousands of vessels emerged from hidden spaces between dimensions. They had always been there, watching, waiting. How? Elder Koss gasped. "We learned long ago that the universe has many layers," Admiral Wilson explained. "You see only one. We see them all. We exist in them all. What you call our erasure beams are just us moving things to layers you cannot perceive. We don't destroy, we relocate." The Devourer sphere detected the human fleet. It sent another message. "Humans, we have found you at last. You cannot run anymore." Admiral Wilson's expression hardened. "We're not running. Not anymore." What happened next defied understanding. The human fleet didn't attack in any conventional sense. Reality itself seemed to bend around the Devourer sphere. Space twisted. Time fluctuated. The sphere began to fade, as if it was being erased from existence, one layer at a time. The Devourers tried to fight back. Beams of pure antimatter, black hole generators, reality-breaking weapons that had destroyed entire galaxies. But humans didn't exist in just one reality. They existed in all of them simultaneously. Every attack passed through them like they were ghosts. Then the humans did something impossible. They reached into the sphere with their collective consciousness and pulled. Not the sphere itself, but the intelligences controlling it. Millions of Devourer minds were dragged into visible reality, exposed and vulnerable. "You consumed 1,000 galaxies," Admiral Wilson said, his voice carrying across space itself. "You destroyed countless civilizations. That ends now." The Devourer minds were erased. Not killed, not destroyed, but removed from every layer of reality. They had never existed. They would never exist. The sphere, without guidance, collapsed into itself and vanished. The human fleet disappeared back into their hidden dimensions. Only Admiral Wilson's image remained. "The galaxy is safe," he said to the stunned council. We'll continue to watch from the spaces between. Don't fear us. We're not your enemies. We're your neighbors. We just happen to be the neighbors who remember what monsters look like and how to fight them. He paused before ending transmission. Humanity asks only for peace. Grant us that, and we'll ensure this galaxy survives whatever comes from the dark. This is our home now, and we protect what's ours. The transmission ended. Elder Koss broke the silence. I motion that humanity be given permanent sovereignty over their space and eternal gratitude of the Galactic Council. The vote was unanimous. In the depths of space, humanity watched and waited, guardians of a galaxy that finally understood humans weren't the monsters. They were the ones who kept the real monsters away. Asterisk.